Like and subscribe if you live in the realms of reality and you're not afraid of the truth. Like and subscribe. Let me get something straight right now. Putin's military, his military might, strength, combined with African men who are just like the African American men in the United States, athletic, strong, fast, quick. You combine that with the Russian military, and these guys are staunch fighters, well-trained fighters. Now, these two groups are going to be united under Putin. Putin exudes masculinity. Soldiers respect that in a leader. War is a man's game. War is a man's game. The United States telling women you are equal to men, putting women in the infantry to fight who? LeBron James? Are you kidding me? To fight Barry Sanders? Are you kidding me? Then you throw in some homosexuals in there who do nothing but make heterosexual men uncomfortable. Heterosexual men are uncomfortable around gays. Men don't want other men looking at them with sexual intent. That's why you get that's why you have the problems you have with homosexuals here in America. Half the time, those men, there was a show on TV where they had this guy come on the show and they were talking about this person that was attracted to him. Now this guy is looking for he's hoping for a nice looking woman. A woman that's out of shape, that doesn't look good, is the worst that he expected. When the show aired, it was a guy that was that was attracted to him. Well, he was embarrassed, sick to his stomach, and when the show was over with and they all went back home, he killed the homosexual. And I tell you this to show you just how uncomfortable men are around homosexuals. And I tell you this, and the United States is emboldening transvestites and homosexuals to approach heterosexual men. That is not going to work out. That outcome is not going to work. It's not going to work. Women who think they are strong as men are insane. Men looking at other men in a sexual manner is a prescription for chaos. Chaos. I can tell you this. If I was in a war and I'm in a foxhole with some homosexual, that ain't working. That's not working. If I'm in a foxhole with a woman, being a man, the first thing on my mind is, damn, I got to protect this broad. She is no protection for me, especially if it comes to hand-to-hand combat. You see, war is not a game. See, the United States love to make these silly Marvel movies, comic man movies. And see, this sinks into the head of white supremacists. And those people in Washington, D.C., walking around dropping their packets of cocaine. Because they high. They high, they get high, they are lifetime politicians. They have never been in a war. And now you coming up again. Putin was the head of the KGB. This man doesn't play war. He doesn't play war. He doesn't look at Marvel movies. He is the real thing. He's not Donald Trump. 5 deferments. He's not Biden. Never been in the military. Never did anything but talk S-H-I-T. That's all Biden did. And he's a racist. And racists are just like Christopher Cantrell, the crying Nazi. When the smoke hits, he don't want to be there. He don't want to be nowhere around. And that's what you got in white supremacists. Truckloads, 3 truckloads going after Rasheen Carter. These aren't fighting men. These are not fighting men. And I can tell you this, when the military had a fake combat exercise to see who were the best pilots, the Tuskegee Airmen won, and they had inferior planes. The Tuskegee Airmen did not lose a bomber during the war against Nazi Germany. They did not lose a bomber in World War II. Whereas the white fighter pilots, they were losing bombers left and right. Watch the movie. It's true. Watch the movie. You see, everything I tell you, I'm bagging up with facts. I'm bagging up with facts. Now, I get these comments, these little silly comments. Will these guys be talking nonsense? Don't prove nothing. They just make a silly statement, and then I'm supposed to sit there and believe it. I stop deleting them. And I tell them, prove it. Prove it. Prove it or shut up. You see, demons and Satan, their only strength is running their mouth. And if they can get you to believe it, then they can take advantage of it. That's their strength, running their mouth. And if they have you outnumbered and outgunned, then they run in their mouth again. But one-on-one, they not gonna mess with 5-on-3. That's not even good odds for them. They gotta have at least, if it's three, they gotta have 10 to feel comfortable. And they will probably still lose because 4 or 5 of them gonna run away when they get hit. Now some of you saying, well, it's only not all those countries are going to fight. All of Africa is going to unite to get the colonists off their back. You think ECOWAS? If ECOWAS could have attacked Niger, they would have done it. If the APU or African Congress or whatever you call it, if they could have attacked Niger, they would have done it. But guess what? Those African men are not going to fight for France. They know good and well it's not a fight for democracy. It's a fight for France to exploit Africa. And Macron, he's so stupid, he said it. He said it. He said, France's interests. We are not going to let you take our interests. Then now all of a sudden they're trying to change the narrative to democracy. Don't work. Should have kept the little short SHIT should have kept his mouth shut and never opened it. Now he's running around looking goofy. Those French France land some soldiers. You better get out of there. Don't think you're gonna come in there with some French soldiers. What they gonna do? What are they gonna do? They're gonna do the same thing the Ukrainian soldiers did. NATO gave them all those weapons. And what did they do? They left the weapons on the battlefield, and the Russians have those weapons that NATO gave Ukraine is in Iran and in Russia being taken apart and dissected to find out how they work and what they are capable of. Yeah, those Ukrainian soldiers, they left that stuff. They left that stuff and ran, and they left it in working order. They left equipment in working order. Guns, bazookas, tanks, you name it. They got out of those tanks and ran. Why? Because then, first of all, they weren't a well-trained military. They weren't a well-trained military like what Russia has. Are you kidding me? They weren't. Africa has a very well-trained military. America trained them. Thank you. Thank you. Gays in the military discussing makeup secrets with women is totally ridiculous. There is obviously someone doing cocaine in the Pentagon. Because I'm going to tell you this. Right now, the only thing America got going for itself militarily wise is ego. And the most embarrassing thing is that the hundreds, thousands of military information was being given to Mali in Africa. They were sending confidential, top secret information to Mali in Africa. You don't think Putin knows that? You don't think he has that? He has that along with military equipment that is in operational order. And you want to know the big kicker? There's no telling what Trump told him. You know Trump can't keep a secret. He's egotistical, so he's going to brag. There's no telling what all he told Putin. And you see the difference between Putin and Trump is that Trump is playing a game. He's a spoiled little narcissistic rich kid playing a game who never should have been allowed to run for president. And they say he's leading now. You got this guy competing against Putin. Think about that. Before you start writing all these stupid comments, think this. Who would you want leading your military? Trump or Putin? Like and subscribe. Have a great day. God bless us all.